I think that the speaker today was really, really good because he talked about humor. And that's when I started this whole thing. And I think I also, when I get nervous, I'm one of those people that goes to funerals and I'm usually the one giggling in the back about something and people are horrified. But I always do kind of tend towards the humorous part. And I had more than a few doctors, if I would make jokes or if I would say something. I had a tumor in my leg, and it took them, I had to go through treatment before they removed it. And the doctor, I said, you're probably going to get in there and find it's not really even a tumor. It might be my twin that was absorbed into my body. And, and I had just seen this happen to somebody on TLC, a documentary about this happening to somebody in India. And I definitely find that surgeons have no sense of humor at all, because my surgeon just looked at me and she just gave me that look, and she flicked up her eyes at her physician's assistant, and I knew she was thinking that I was losing it. And I said, I'm kidding, but doctors, you just can't joke with doctors. But I think it doesn't really matter because you just have to joke anyway. And sometimes, when you go into radiation, that's definitely one thing I found. When you wait for radiation, you're in this room with maybe 6 other people and you're all waiting your turn, and they have a couple of rooms like that. And the first day I went into the room, there was a gentleman in there named Jerry, and he said, "So, hey, you with the chemo head." And he started talking to me, and all of us started talking. And then because the appointments are around the same time, most of the time you'd go in and it would be the same people, and we would all start talking. And there was always maybe a face that I would recognize, and certainly I was happy when there was at least one of those people there. And it only takes one person in that room to make a comment about, so, I don't know, some introduction, because you're all sitting in there, and that one person would start talking, and pretty soon almost all of them would. And certainly you have those people that they don't look up and they look at their book, or they look mortified that they would not talk. Well, that's fine, and you don't have to try to draw it out of them. They'll start talking. But it made it so much more pleasant when I would go in there and just make a comment or look up and say something, because all it takes is one person looking up and making a comment, and the other people, some of them are so happy to start talking to somebody. But on days maybe I wouldn't feel good, and I would walk in and not say anything, nobody would talk. But all it takes is that one person, and we usually would get almost everybody in that little room would start talking and you could just feel the pressure just fade. And even if you told a stupid story or a dumb joke or made fun of one of the doctors or something, everybody just was so happy. But I think everyone's afraid when you're facing cancer. You don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings. You don't want to start talking to them if they don't want to talk. But all you have to do is say a few words, and if they don't say anything back, okay, that person's not ready. But if you don't make that effort, nobody will start talking. And it just made it so nice. I would go to radiation every morning for 7 weeks, and Jerry was the first one, and he got me talking. And I'd walk into that room, and I'd be so happy to see another face that I recognize. And if I didn't, all you have to do is just start by saying, "Oh, I wonder if they're behind today." And all it takes is something so easy, and the other person would start talking and say, "Oh, I don't know about that." And all it takes is a few things, and sometimes that people are so happy. You can tell when they're not. But we used to get going sometimes in that radiation room, and we would start laughing, and everybody, and I think, oh, maybe it's bad because you're not supposed to laugh, but you know what? It wasn't such a bad thing.